The concept of Dao is something that fascinates me. It has for at least 5 years when I first got into Xianxia and Wuxia. Oh, this is a messy video about Chinese fantasy, by the way. Well, hello there, I'm Detroit. I started reading Chinese light novels translations 5 years ago, I think. I was a big fan of mangas at the time, which I still am, and I just discovered manhwas, the Chinese version of mangas, which are Japanese. I think the first two I've read are Dupo Kangkyong and Julo Dalu. I don't know if I'm pronouncing these right, by the way. In these times, I was reading a lot, and I wanted to try reading a new genre besides polar and classical Western fantasy. This is when I discovered that these great manhwas were originally light novels, and oh boy, can you imagine a manga that is developed like a novel? It's basically it. Crazy things like magic and fighting and intrigues and gods and immortals and stuff, with the descriptive capabilities of manga and the amount of content from novels. I was sold basically right at the gate, and I read a few of them, my favorites being I Shall Seal the Heavens by Argan, Against the God by Mars Gravity, and A Will Eternal, another one by Argan. It was only a few years later that I decided to take my pen out and write one of these stories by myself. That would become universal knowledge of the Tao. There is a thing though, the sort of fantasy that is Xianxia or Wuxia is based deeply on traditional Chinese folk culture. And I want to disclaim right now from the start that I don't know anything about Chinese culture and language and anything besides what I've read in these light novels. I'm kinda afraid I'll offend someone at some point by appropriating that culture, but again, I want to make it clear that I don't claim to do authentic stuff, to write an authentic novel. It's my own view on that world, the magical techniques using qi or the likes, like chakra or chinsu. I also don't know much about Taoism or Taoism, but I like the concept of Tao a lot. If you want a more complete explanation on what that is and the presence of Taoism in Chinese web novels, I highly encourage you to go check out Deathblade on YouTube. He's the English translator for a lot of great web novels, and it was his translation of I Shall Seal the Heavens that I first read that got me into it. He's lived a long time in China, made a family there. I mean, he knows his stuff. Go listen to him for these things instead of a random 23 years old amateur like me. But stay on this video though, alright? I haven't finished filling in the Dao character yet. Dao has many possible translations from what I've gathered, but what struck with me was path. Tied to the concept of fate or destiny, finding one's Dao is finding your path in this life or the next. I like it because first, it's a good way to fuel inspiration for writing, and secondly because it's sort of a good morale to never stop pursuing your own Dao. Sort of a never give up, inspirational poster with a kitten kind of thing, but better. And Dao, fate, destiny, path works great paired with a light novel. The whole concept is pretty easy to understand, at least for Xianxia, which is about magic and stuff. Unlike Western fantasy, there are no witches and trolls and dungeons, and it's more about immortals and gods and magical techniques and clans. When you first start a Xianxia novel, you already know who the protagonist is. You know from the very beginning that they are gonna triumph in the end, and they'll basically become gods. Because it's a feel-good type of writing, and it's really nice to see power-ups and stuff. So the main character, the MC, is starting as a mortal human with no powers. Something happens and the MC finds a rare artifact that is just a massive cheat compared to others on the path of cultivation. Cultivation being learning magic and elevating yourself, kind of. And then we follow the MC through all sorts of stuff, each time avoiding death at the last minute and being stronger than other bigger guys just because he has a cheat artifact. Every time the MC is going to have a big power-up, upgrade, and pass a new level. Just like you would expect in mangas and video games, most of this stuff is quantified through levels and rankings. Let me give you an example. Starting as a level 0 mortal, then reaching rank 1, it's like unlocking fire through their hands, for example. At level 10, they will fly. At level 100, they are already faster than the speed of light and can destroy stars with a punch. At level 1000, it's galaxies and so on and so on. Because these web novels are published in the form of chapters, with a new iteration every day or week or so, it never really ends. I mean, it does, but as long as the author keeps on writing, the story can keep going. It's really simple. When your character has become a god and ascended, just say that their plane of existence was a small speck of dust all along, and now they are in the big leagues. And it works. I've made it sound quite simple here, but it's a really good plot plan. It's a feel-good novel, and you feel good reading it. The underdog always defeats the champions and then kills their entire clan in retribution. Yeah, that happens a lot. A lot of cold-blooded scenes, very crude, and honestly not something you would want to apply to real life. But that's the point of reading, right? Experiencing stuff you can't otherwise. And if it's a good medium so that you don't kill people in real life, then great. Anyway, what was I saying? Immortals are a thing also. Because the MC at first is a human with basically a normal lifespan, so let's say 80 years, in comparison, immortals are the people that cultivate or practice magic. Basically, as soon as you start cultivating, your life is improved. Because you breathe energy and assimilate the flow of nature and the likes, you don't need to eat or sleep anymore, and your lifespan gets a boost. So again, with the levels thing, when you're level 1 or something that would be called like the Earth Spirit Realm, you can easily live to be 100. On level 10, the Sovereign Golden Heaven Realm, let's say, you can live to be 10,000 years old. On level 100, the higher gold plane of Dharma Serenity Realm, or something cheesy like that, you can live to be 1,000,000 or 2. It's never ending, the scales are just getting bigger and bigger for everything, and honestly, it's great. So to conclude this video where I explained badly what this genre is, it's a very niche thing that can be a bit cliché, but you ingest it daily or weekly, you don't really binge it, so it's fine. It allows your imagination to flow like nothing else, and that's why I've made my own light novel, Universal Knowledge of the Tao. I'm trying my best to make it sound as authentic as possible, while clearly not, and also including a bit of other stuff in it. For example, my main character is Xianxia, a female, instead of being a male protagonist, and possibly asexual, instead of having a harem with all the prettiest cultivators in all of the immortal realms. So go check it out. It's Universal Knowledge of the Tao. It's on webnovel.com under the pen name Detrois, D3TROIS. I'm currently on chapter 73 and I'm not dropping it anytime soon, even though sometimes I have to take breaks for a few weeks because I'm a busy guy. Just like these videos on YouTube, I write a new chapter every week or so come over here and say hi sometimes. If you've known me through my work on web novel, please tell me in the comments. You can also say other things in the comments if you want. It's all up to you. I hope you enjoyed this video, give it a like if you did, subscribe for new videos every week, and I'll see you next Sunday. Bye!